What's up, nerds? I am back. The factory is running, and I have put in some work. Welcome back to the main sequence. As you will be able to see here shortly, I have completely redone the layout of the station and moved some things around. Probably the smartest thing I did was put the solar arrays here on the bottom and out of the way. You can see it's quite a beautiful design, not quite rectangular, but I added an extended shipyard here so that we can go ahead and create the warp capable ship. Got a lot of room in here and a lot of machinery now. And the one thing that I really wish that I could do is change some colors. Because even though I built this thing out, it's really easy to get lost in one's own station. Everything is the same color. If I had spent a couple of weeks away from this game, I would have to actually kind of look in all of these machines to see what's what. As it is, I do remember where things are, but you know, you pause the game, you get up to go to the bathroom, you come back, and then you find yourself wondering exactly where you're standing. So, we have created, oops, yes, this goes here. As you can see, we are creating warp fuel, and we've got a little bit of that set aside already. Interesting thing is when I looked at the description for the enriched fuel, it says it can be used to power warp drives. So I'm assuming that the warp fuel is just more concentrated, more powerful. 2304, I'm guessing that's megajoules, and a max speed of 9,000, whereas yeah, okay, so it's about half as much fuel and a lot less speed. In the meantime, I have already gone through the trouble of designing a warp ship, and we'll go take a look at that now. It's Warp Mark 1. It's not the prettiest thing. I'm not terribly great at building ships, but we have 3 plasma cannons, 1, 2, 3, the tractor beam, we have the mining laser, as well as this bad boy, the plasma lance, which does about 10 times as much damage as these little guys, but it fires much slower. As you can see, I added some armor pieces to the sides. We have the workstation. We have, obviously, the docking link here. 2 large thrusters, 4 small thrusters, a bunch of storage. And this thing is, I think, ready for testing. I was hoping to actually find some design pieces that could kind of angle these corners off a bit, but no such luck or no such pieces exist. So actually I'm wondering if maybe, does that make any sense? No, I think that's just gonna destroy my field of view here from the cockpit. So yeah, the next step is to build this thing, and I should have all the materials already sitting in the station to go ahead and build it. So let's go ahead and do that first. I want that. And there we go. Let's have a look-see. Start reactor. Guessing we can just put the warp fuel in that. But I will be taking some of the other fuel with us just in case. Oh, okay. Here we are. So, we'll put the warp fuel in this, clearly. I did add a normal reactor too, because I wasn't sure if we needed that or not. So, we'll load this up with regular fuel, just in case. We are almost ready to leave this asteroid field and hopefully find something new. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some fuel. Once I have, I think once we have 100 warp fuel, I want to make sure I have enough because I have no way of knowing how much it will take to actually warp away to another system. So I want to make sure that we have plenty before we try taking off. So once again, I'm kind of lost here in my own station. So we have 100 warp fuel. I want that, and I'm going to take some enriched fuel as well. Take some of that. I'm also going to want to take some basic materials to construct a station, because odds are I'm going to want to do that at whatever destination I choose first. Let me go ahead and collect some things based on what it takes to build a station and a couple of solar panels and so forth. And we'll load up the ship with everything that we need and get the heck out of Dodge. All right, I have loaded the ship's inventory with some things I believe will be needed, including additional fuel and some basic parts for our first base in another region, as well as some pieces for solar panels so we can have power right away. All right, let's get out of here. We hit the map. We just select somewhere else to go.
I have no idea what these buttons do.
Warp jump, J. There it is. Oh, okay. Let's do it. It looks like it's gonna take a minute even at warp, so I can only imagine how long this would have taken. It just... I'd be sitting here for like a week. Oh, we can alter our trajectory while in warp. That's interesting. So do I stop warp with J as well? Yes. There's still asteroids about. I don't see any relic ships out here, though. Interesting. Alright, let's just continue. Hardly anything here to harvest. So it doesn't look like we can set up shop here. There's just a handful of... Yeah. We'll take a look around after we check out this station. I'm curious, what can we trade for? What do they have? Does it exist? It doesn't look like it. Okay, so possible this part of the game is not ready yet, and that there will be a trading outpost here at some point. That's disappointing. What about another star system? possible that's not ready either. What a new asteroid field. Now I wonder if we had stations set up in different asteroid fields, could warp-capable ships be automated to bring things between them? It's another question that I have. But the question is only really worth answering if there's something worth transporting, like a new material, perhaps the cobalt, that we have yet to find. Not that I can scan for cobalt. It's possible that that update hasn't reached the game yet either. Alright, well, we're in a new asteroid field. Got some enemy ships about. This one's pretty thick. Actually, those asteroids are not. As a reminder, the double medium-sized asteroids where we set up our first base had ore amounts in like 70,000. These are much less. But there seem to be just a plethora of them. Okay, so that water asteroid is pretty significant, but what else do we have here? It stands to reason that cobalt is not in the game yet because I can't scan for it. Also, there doesn't appear to be any research related to that, so and yeah, we may have reached a dead end here as far as what we can do in the game. Almost all the research has been completed now. We're capable of going to other sectors. What doesn't appear possible is going to other star systems. Doesn't really give us a destination. Well, that's disappointing.
I'm sad now.
I wonder if the relic shipyard actually exists. Let's check it out. I can only imagine traveling this route at 2,000 meters a second instead of 9,000. This would take so much longer. So, glad we brought the warp fuel. I don't know that the enriched fuel is of much use, to be honest. Now, will this sector of space just be loaded with enemy ships? Will the station be there? I have no way of knowing.
I could write a book about what you don't know.
I suspect that the station does not exist. Yet. Go see if the shipyard exists. Again, I kind of doubt it. There are no enemy ships flying around, and I imagine that there would be. This cluster or this sector should be an enemy stronghold if their shipyard is here. Yeah, there's nothing here. Evidently, there's not a whole lot left for us to do here. You're likely going to have to wait for another update in order to proceed. I'm curious about the cobalt and what that will be used for. I'm curious about whether or not there will be different things to find in other star systems, or how we're going to get to those, because even at this speed is insufficient to get to a whole other star. So there may be a whole other new kind of engine that is required for that. I think this was called the warp drive, now it's a slipstream drive. So we'll see. There's really no way to tell. We're gonna have to wait for an update. There's a lot of promise here, but it looks like I'm gonna have to wait for some updates to come out. Just gonna go back to the home station, spruce things up a bit. There's a couple of machines that I no longer require and I can remove. I can also, right now, the same enrichment chamber that was used to make the enriched fuel, I just turned the belts around, fed that fuel back in along with advanced plates to make the warp fuel. So I could, in theory, finish that line of automation and be able to just make straight warp fuel automatically without having any interaction whatsoever. So I might do that in preparation for the next update that comes out, whenever that might be, and maybe we will return. In the meantime, this video kind of sucks.